What up, what up? It's Gray Rizzy. We out here, Shade 45. You know what we doing. We running these late nights, and I'm going to take you out to the 215 real quick. City of brotherly love. There's been a lot of action going on out there, thankfully. You know, and I have a special person who I haven't had the chance to have on the show, but we've seen each other millions of times, it seems like, in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he's finally here, the front man of the legendary Roots crew, representing the 215. Black Thoughts in the building. What's up, my brother?
What up, Gray?
Everything is good, man. Everything is good. I want to jump right into this because you have a new project that's on the way, volume three, excuse me, of your trilogy. I don't know if this is going to end it, or if this is keep on streams of thought is going to keep on going.
Man, streams of thought is gonna keep on going. I got volume 4, 5, and 6 on my phone now done. Like, man, streams is crazy. Yeah, that's
Good.
that's a thing for a minute.
That's good to hear, man. Well, let's get to this joint because you have the single out that's out there right now, Thought versus Everybody. And the way you opened it, I'm really big on whether it be the song or just the project itself. In just a few moments, we go to hear from the most powerful black man in the world. Once I heard that part, I was like, yeah, I know where we going with this. Can you just, talk about the song a little bit and putting it together for the people who are listening right now?
That intro, it was actually an excerpt of somebody bringing Mr. Louis Farrakhan to the stage for one of his speeches. And I just felt like that was, it was befitting for like the caliber of lyricism and, just the caliber of commentary that I was about to make. So that's what we went with. The track, when Sean C and I initially got together to do volume 3, the idea was not to overthink anything, which is, just on par with the streams of thought sort of brand. That's what it is. It's more stream of consciousness. So, he was on the machine. He, hit a couple buttons and I heard this thing. And I was like, yo, what was that? And then boom, and he, looped something up. And in 20 minutes, like that's what came out was this Thought versus Everybody joint. And it felt, very organic and just felt like, the ideal way to really kick off a project, because it was the first thing that we recorded for this whole project. And, we would in turn probably record another 15 to 18 joints, many of which made it, for the final cut, so to speak. But that being the first joint, that was a huge sort of motivator with regards to what we was building around. So that set the tone, that set the bar for, where we was at with it. And even though that record, we've had it in the tuck for a minute, you know what I'm saying? For well over a year, maybe, 2, I'm not sure, might have been done for 2 years, but
wow.
Nowhere near 2020 did we record that song. But it's more timely now than ever. You know what I mean?
That right there always it amazes me how artists can put together a song and it may not be, of the moment, but forecasting wise, like it just hits right at the right time. With this title too, Thought versus Everybody, I think a lot of times you hear it, oh, that's cliche, or that's cool, that's witty, but when people hear your name versus everybody, it's realistic, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, have you heard that a lot come from people? Like, I could see Black Thought in a ring and take your favorite 10. You know what I'm saying? And I'm betting on that man right there, Black Thought.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, I could see that. I mean, if that's what we doing, like, you know what I mean? I feel like, a certain level of mutual respect for my fellow artists and humility and all that, you know what I mean, is how I move. But, I mean, I feel like the body of work speaks for itself as far as where the bar has been set. So, yeah, you know what I mean? If it's Thought versus Everybody, it's Thought versus Everybody, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it also, the title, I feel like it also speaks to the concept of thought, like the idea of thought. Like, my name is Black Thought, but you could take it personally, you know what I mean? But it's also applicable, just as a concept, like the idea of black thought, you know. So it's that versus everybody too. It's like consciousness versus, you know, negativity, you know what I'm saying? Awareness, you know, versus unawareness, you know what I mean? So I feel like it speaks to all of that.
Well, I'm glad you're speaking to it, and I'm sure people want to go ahead and hear the song. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have been spinning it, streaming it, playing a million times. Well, guess what? We're going to play it a million more up here on Shade 45. Let's get into this joint right now. It's Thought versus everybody. Black Thoughts in the building. Shade 45. We out here, whoa. We out here. It's your guy, Gray Rizzy, riding out with you as always, holding down these late nights. I got my guy representing 215 in the building, representing the legendary Roots crew. Black Thought is in the building. Now, we have this project, and I've seen a couple of dates that have come across for Streams of Thought Volume 3. Do we have have we locked down an exact date? Because now I think we've kind of pushed it towards the end of July. We know that's for sure.
Yeah, I think, you know, around the end of July. I mean, all I can really speak to is that the album is done, it's mixed, it's mastered, the video is done, you know, for this joint, for Thought versus everybody, and it's ready to go. Right now, it's just gonna be up to I guess the distributor that we partnered up with for this, which is In Grooves. And you know, when they're ready to pull the trigger, they're gonna pull the trigger. But I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be coming to you within the next couple of weeks.
I might have to make a call because I need that ASAP. We need that good
Yeah,
word from Black Thought. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yo, look, you mentioned it earlier. You got with Sean C on this one. That's family right there, all the way back to my days of hanging around Loud. Shout out to LV too. But
yeah.
the you know, in volume 1, I believe you got with Ninth Wonder. In volume
Hmm.
2, Streams of Thought, you were with Salam Remy.
Hmm.
Volume 3, we have Sean C. What can we expect from this project, and how did that pairing happen between you and Sean C?
Sean C and I are longtime friends. You know, I know him, you know, also from his days at Loud, and he's done a couple things for the Roots, you know, past Roots albums as a producer. But I've always been a huge fan of Sean C and LV as a production team. And you know, I would stop by their studio from time to time, see what they're working on, show them joints that I'm working on. You know, I'm really good friends with my comrades, Dead Prez, of which Sean C, you know, he A&R their project, and he's essentially, you know, even I had a conversation with Stick a couple weeks ago, and he said Sean is like the third member of Dead
Mm,
Prez, which is true. So I just remember him from back in those days, and I've always felt like he had you know, even when he was in A&R, when he was a record executive, he had an artist sensibility. You know what I
right.
mean? He never felt like label people, you know? So, yeah, I've always rocked with him for that. And in the past times that he's called upon me, you know, to work with, say, the Executioners or Ghostface, or, you know, just different projects that he's reached out for me to jump on, it's always been with the understanding that one day, you know what I mean, he would love to do a record for me, and that we gonna want to put something together. So when the
Mm.
time was right, he was like, "Yo, like, why don't we just, you know, sort of just do some shit?" And it came to fruition. You know what I mean? Like that. Like we didn't force anything. And you know, I'm right at this stage of my career, man. I'm not trying to work with anybody where it's gonna be a laborious process. Like where I'm going, you know, be tasked with, you know, all it's going to require all this effort, you know what I mean? Because it's not worth it for me. Like I feel like I already said everything and done everything I need to say and do. So whatever I'm working on at this point, you know what I mean, from now on out, moving forward, it's going to be for me, and it's going to be, you know, like for us, by us, sort of thing. So I'm only doing what that which happens with the greatest of ease, and this is one of those things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, we in the room, like if we in the room together, we leave in the room with, you know, something classic. So yeah.
Copy. Copy. You know what? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get to some more production from Sean C. This is family right here. I've known him for years.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody out there in Harlem too, man. But we're gonna get to that. We gonna stick around for a second. We got Black Thought here. I ain't letting Black Thought go nowhere. I've been waiting for this for years. So we gonna kick it right here on Shade 45. Keep it locked. Chill. Gray Rizzy, we out here right now. Black Thoughts in the building, 215. Take it easy on those phones. I only got so many lines, man. All right. Legendary Roots crew. What's up? Look, I want to take it home for a second, especially to Philly, because the Roots picnic this year was very
Yeah,
different. You did it
yeah,
virtually, and I almost want to say this, and I don't know if you're going to take the credit because I know you're very humble. The team is humble, but I felt like the Roots picnic was almost like a test study or beta for a lot of different virtual production that was about to go on for the year. What was
yeah.
that like for the team?
You know, for us, it's about embracing the new normal and sort of rolling with the punches. And you know, luckily, we were already sort of on that page with regards to, you know, producing content and TV and film production, and you know, just working in a virtual sort of capacity. That's where we already have wrapped our heads around that. You know, with our company that we recently launched called 215 Entertainment. So yeah, we were already sort of you know, virtual minded and working, trying to build out our YouTube platform and, you know, focusing on that whole thing. So that was going to happen with or without COVID, but you know, quarantine sort of just gave us the time and you know, to really gave us the time to make it a priority.
Mm-hmm.
So we started rocking out. Um, yeah, when we found out that we absolutely had to cancel or postpone the picnic, we immediately started thinking about ways to put it on in a different sort of medium. And I feel like partnering up with Michelle Obama and her team that just lent whatever, you know, extra amount of validity that we needed to really to drive it home. So yeah, it worked out, and I feel like yeah, we were able to set the bar for a virtual sort of concert experience, and it was
Mm-hmm.
dope. I feel like what was dope about this Roots Picnic, this is the 12th or 13th annual joint, and at the Roots Picnic, you're usually torn between, you know, at any given moment, you're torn between two things that are taking place because there's multiple stages, and it's going to always be something that you want to see at this time while you in this part of the park at this stage that's happening far away at the same time. Or you're going
Right.
to bring your kids, and your kids going to want to see, you know what I mean, this artist is all the way over here. Roddy Rich is, you know, a mile and a half away. And, you know, you got the Roots Presents, whatever we doing over here at the stage that you're at. So what this year did was it brought everything together in one space, and it provided a more well-rounded experience because, you know, as a viewer, you were able to just see everything. You're able to rock out with, you know, the whole event, you know, in ways that you wouldn't normally be because you would have to. It's a commute. You know what I mean?
Right.
Last Roots Picnic, we had, I think, 27,000 people out there at the Mann Center in Philadelphia, and you know, the state, we got a podcast stage. We have, you know, different arts and culinary arts and, you know, all this different mediums of the arts set up in different areas. You got vendors over here. You got 3 different stages and then a DJ tent, and it's impossible to hop around and sort of see everything. And what we did this year was sort of bring it to you all in one place, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
which was dope.
Yeah, I just want to go down the list for some people who, you know, wasn't able to make it. You have no excuse because it was virtual, but you had Little Baby, you had Roddy Ricch, you had Earth Gang, G Herbo, of course, SZA, a whole lot of great artists. But in a time, especially with, you know, social change going on, the pandemic is going on, and just frankly, we needed a lot of positivity. The ability to partner with Michelle Obama, like, fam, what was that like? What was that? We got green lit. It's going to happen. How, you know, I don't know how it came about, but what was it like to say, "Oh, we're confirmed"? What was that feeling for the team?
Initially, we were going to, like, we were talking with Michelle Obama's camp about adding a day. Like, you know, the Roots Picnic is usually on a Saturday. We
Right.
were, you know, thinking about adding a Friday event that would have been like, you know, Michelle Obama, a Roots performance, and maybe like Jill Scott, or, you know what I mean, something like that would be for Friday evening, not an all day thing. But, you know, we were going to, yeah, try to expand and do it over 2 days this year. We did it over 2 days once before. I mean, not including when we brought the Roots Picnic to New York, which was 2 epic days in Bryant Park. We did it in Philly over 2 days once, and it, you know, it didn't go as smoothly. So we decided to keep it at one. But this
Mm-hmm.
year, if Michelle Obama's camp was with it, then we were going to do 2 days. And it was looking like they were with it, you know what I mean? And then all this, you know, the whole COVID and quarantine happened, and it looked like it might not take place. And then what we found out made the most sense was to partner up with her voting initiative. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as long as we were able to sort of bring it back home to her mission statement and, you know what I'm saying, trying to get young people more aware and more young people voting minded, then it made perfect sense. You know, so we
Right.
teamed up with WhenWeAllVote.org, and yeah, it was a no-brainer.
Is it a chance that you might go for the 2 days again in the future?
I mean, I feel like that's a possibility. That's, you know,
Hmm.
because like where we at with it now, the first time we did it, it was because we were still at the festival pier in Philly, and we had grown out of that space. I
Right.
mean, more people wanted to attend, more people wanted to perform, than we were able to pack into one place in one day. And right now, we at the Mann Center for the Arts, where we still have some room to grow. But, you know, if we hit 50,000 people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna have to. It's gonna be spillage, and you know, it will just make sense. It will behoove us to do something like that. Or, you know, in Michelle Obama's case, we didn't want to squeeze her in between, you know, everything else that was going on, and have her there uh, on a
Right.
chaotic day. And we didn't want people to be torn in the way that I was talking about, with like, yo, damn, do I go and see, you know, the roots of Michelle Obama? Yeah, I mean, Michelle Obama's gonna be in conversation, or do I want to go and see Snow Allegra? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? We didn't want to make the audience choose, so that's why we were thinking about 2 days.
Well, I hope so, man. In fact, I'm gonna put it on my calendar as soon as I get that next couple of days, man. We out here, all right? Look, we got Black Thought in the building. He's gonna stick around for a couple of more minutes. You better not even think about changing that dial. Besides, you need to give that little bitch ass speaker in your car a little time out anyway, man. Black Thoughts in the building. Legendary Roots crew. Gray Rizzy. We out here on Shade 45. Thought, we're right back. It's Gray Rizzy. We out here on Shade 45. I got Black Thought in the building. And before we get out of here, we touched on it with, you know, just social change going on. I feel like you've spoken to this for so many years now. There's a lot of people who are, I want to say there's an awakening happening. You know, I'm always of the mindset better later than never.
Yeah.
But we got to get up to speed. What's your thought about everything that's going on right now? Especially when you have things like still wanting justice for George Floyd, for Breonna Taylor. You want certain levels of rights. Black Lives Matter. There's so many different facets and different types of situations that all lead up to the cumulative effect of equality. What do you think about this?
I mean, I feel like, you know, right now, like we've reached a tipping point. You know what I'm saying? This is you know, like we're living out, I guess, the concept of enough being enough. You know, and you know what's taking place, what's been taking place. It's never been about, you know, one act or one person's loss of life. It's about it's accumulative. You know what I mean? It's about, you know, hundreds of years of, you know, second class citizenship, and,
Mm,
you know, being disenfranchised, and, you know, just being presumed guilty. And it's a systemic, you know, systemic racism and discrimination that is really the DNA of this country. That's what this country is. You know, you talk about the American dream, you know, but there's nothing, you know, as American as murder, rape, and pillage. You know what I mean? So it's about, you know, I feel like in the current climate, with so much truth coming to light over the past few years, and the band-aid being pulled off in so many other like realms with regards to just people's rights, with, you know, the LGBTQ rights and women's rights, and, you know what I mean, the whole Me Too movement, and, you know, just people, the people have sort of had enough of being subjugated, you know. And so I feel like it's not necessarily the most convenient thing. Revolution is not convenient, you know what I mean? But if not now, then when? I feel like, you know, the people have spoken, and the universe has spoken, and now is the time. So that's what we're living through. And it's a beautiful time to be alive. An amazing time to be alive because of that. This is, you know, people sing about a change going to come, and, you know, when I get to the promised land, and, you know what I'm saying, one day we'll all be free, and all the stuff that we sort of heard the legend of, and, you know, that felt unachievable, like we never get to that day. This is that day. And
mhm.
you know, it's not gonna be, it's not pretty. and it's not neat and clean, and you know what I'm saying, but it's a revolution no less. So yeah, you know, it's dope to sort of to see, you know, how we gonna come out on the other side of it, you know. But speaking to what you were saying, um yeah, it is a resurgence or an emergence of, you know, just conscious material, conscious content being created in every medium by artists. You know, and I feel like that's dope. You know what I mean? And you also said that, you know, better late than never, and I agree. Like it's never too late to, you know, to turn over a new leaf and you know, to get wise to the exercise, so to speak. You know what I mean? You know, people say, you know, talk about how Malcolm X, you know, was Dirty Red before he
Right.
was Malcolm X. So it's never
Right.
too late, you know, to sort of to transform in that way and sort of come to the truth and come to, you know, to get knowledge of self. So yeah, it's dope, man. For artists like me and for, you know, artists like the Dead Prez and Yassine Beys and Talib
Talib.
Kweli's and Immortal Techniques, and you know what I mean, X Clan and Public Enemy. It's a bunch of us. It's a whole collective of artists who we've sacrificed more mainstream fame and more mainstream popularity in order to make this sort of our mission statement in life. And this is what all my music has been about. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I've always spoken about the same shit. You know what I mean? The sad truth is that the same stuff that was going on when I was rapping about it in 1993 is going on in 2020 and probably gonna be going on in 2023. But you know, there's still there's hope for change, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But yeah, for artists like myself, man, it's like I feel like it's our time because people need something of nutrients. Like people need food, brain food. People need some art that is going to be art of substance that speaks to what's going on. Yeah, I mean, in these days, it's like people don't want no bullshit. So it's my time to shine. You know what I mean? I'll keep a full clip. I got mad albums done, and everything is all about speaking truth to power. So you know, I'm ready to have it.
I'm happy to hear it, and I would love to hear that. And I'm also say, I just want to say this because we're running up on time, man. That I've always felt like you have been a leader with that, with the brothers at arms that you mentioned. But now we're starting to see that bubble into new artists. Like shout out to Rhapsody. We
Yeah,
saw the bigger picture with Lil Baby. We're
yeah,
seeing other side of America with somebody like Meek Mill. People
yeah,
who have skin in the game, so to speak. And I'm not
yeah,
talking about skin color. They've been through certain experiences, so they
yeah,
know what this is. So
yeah.
I'm just glad there's again an awakening. Better late than never. I got Black Thought in the building. We got a couple more minutes before we get out of here. I did want to ask a basketball question because I heard your Philadelphia 76ers. They're
Yeah.
moving Ben Simmons to the power forward position, and some cat, I think his name is Shake. I ain't never heard from him. He's supposed to be moving to the guard position. Do you think the 76ers are going to get out the bubble with a championship?
I do, man. I have to, you know, I have to believe, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm Philly to the wheels fall off. So yeah, definitely, man. And
I love
I actually been in the lab, man, trying to come up with something special for the NBA over the past couple of days because I feel like the players, you know, have also had enough. You know what I mean? Like I feel like athletes in general, you know, want something that sort of speaks to their, you know, to where their head is. You know what I mean, and to their mindset before they go back out on these courts and on these fields. So I've been
True.
trying to come up with something that is going to be able, that they're going to be able to identify with in that way, you know. So
Right, right. Well, I'm looking forward to that as well. And I just want to say this because, you know, it's on us to really write a lot of stuff, but it's also on the allies. And talking about the 76ers, this cat was a Philadelphia 76 at one time, Cal Corver. He's going to wear on his nameplate Black Lives Matter. So that's
yeah,
saying a
well, you
lot.
know, yeah, like so I feel like that you're gonna see more of that. You're gonna see
Mm-hmm.
more of that. I feel like players are gonna have the option to, you know, to have that sort of mission statement instead of wearing their nameplate on the jersey. And I mean, you know, it's gonna be it's small steps that, you know what I mean, eventually turn into leaps and strides. You know what I'm saying? So take it one day at a time as it comes. But yeah, you're gonna start seeing that sort of change, and that's what I mean about it's a wonderful time to be alive. You know, what I mean, who'd have thought that? You know, you'd even see that. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, yo, yeah, I don't want Black Thought on my jersey. I want my shit to say unity. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's where we at with it. And I feel like it's called for now more than ever. So let's have it.
Yeah, man. Well, look, I appreciate you for taking the time to be up here with us on Shade 45. And look, Streams of Thought Volume 3 is on the way. Look out for it at the end of the month, literally in a couple of weeks. We got Thought versus Everybody is out there right now. And for everybody who might be underneath a rock, because you never know, man, how can they follow you on everything that you have out there socially?
I'm at Black Thought, man, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? At Black Thought, you know, at the Roots. And you know, that's it, man. That's where I'm at.
And you look, I'm gonna go on wax, even though you know that's more symbolic than anything. I'm gonna go on wax when this is all over. First drink is on me with you and Dave over at the Fox and the Falcon.
Bet, no doubt.
Salute,
Love,
brother. Hang out for a second. We're going to close this out. So we out here, Shade 45. Keep it locked. Make sure you follow Thought on the gram, on Twitter. Make sure you follow us at Shade 45, at Gray Rizzy, GrayRizzy. If you missed any part of this interview, catch it on demand with the Sirius XM app, available for iPhone and Android. Best believe we out here. Whoa, peace.
It's your man Black Thought. We out here, you know what I'm saying, with Gray Rizzy.